Spoilers for all of Arcane, if, you know, you've been living under a rock or something. So, if you have been following the latest League of Legends or Arcane news, then you might have noticed that Viktor is getting an update, or whatever the correct term would be. I won't lie, I am utterly disappointed. Now, let me make something clear. I liked Arcane, alright? I even liked Viktor in Arcane. I have a few notes, but overall the idea they went with could have been really great, if they just hadn't gone so overboard with the magical arcane part, whilst also going extremely underboard with the mechanical cyber part. But I'm not here to talk about Arcane. The thing is that Viktor sort of worked the way he was in the show. Again, I would have changed some details if it were me on the writing board, but generally they did some cool things that I like. The problem is that they just copy and pasted it into the game, with a kit that just doesn't fit, and with a base model that looks utterly ridiculous when put together with the champion's already existing skins. Not to mention how there is nothing here that fits with the machine part of Viktor's old title, the Machine Herald. And yes, I said old title, because they are even changing that. He will now be titled the Arcane Herald. Great. People across all of social media have of course said that this is great actually, because Viktor's old lore sucked and was very old. But like, that's not the point. We're not mad that they're updating his lore or his model. What's disappointing is that they could have easily done so while still keeping key elements of his original theme. Just some simple fixes in his design can do wonders. This here is from Reddit and was done in like a day. This is the new unedited Viktor splash art. And this is the Redditor's version. Notice how much of a difference some extra armor and an edited mask does. This is a huge improvement for me. I'd much prefer even more changes, but again, this is a fan-made edit that was done on a very short notice. Is it really insane to imagine that the Viktor we saw in Arcane is powerful enough to forge himself some extra armor plates to put on? Of course that could work. He is pretty much all-powerful towards the end of the show. Viktor's old characterization places huge focus on the fact that he evolved and improved because of modifications he created for himself. Currently, he's not really that involved in his evolution. He created the Hex Core, and then that device sort of just did most of the changes itself. His in-game model has sort of just become a much more normal and basic version of a mage. Old Viktor reminded of Dr. Doom or something. The new one reminds of Malzahar. And some of these new skins just makes me think of Inteleon for some reason. There is just something wrong with his posture or something. His stature is just off. Every skin looks like they just took the old version and made it 20% longer. As if they just stretched it out and called it a day. Not to mention how they just removed VFX from several skins for no reason. Or how they removed the mask from Deathsworn Viktor and replaced it with... this. What even is this? I am pretty sure I got my High Noon Viktor skin from rerolling, and I still want a refund for it. This is atrocious. I just don't know who this is for. The only thing they changed in his kit is that you can now upgrade his ultimate, which makes it grow in size when it kills something. That change is not gonna draw new players. And looking at the fan response, this new model is just gonna repel old Viktor mains. So what's even the point? I don't think I ever really sympathized with all the previous victims of reworks, but now I get it. This sucks. This really sucks. A week ago I was honestly expecting this update to be amazing, but now I'd rather just have them keep the old one. I don't know, am I crazy here? Feel free to try and convince me in the comments. Or just flame me for my trash perspective. I don't even care anymore. The evolution wasn't glorious. It wasn't even an evolution. Out of all the characters they could have turned into another anime champion, I honestly never saw Viktor coming.